Episode 72, Who is the head chef tonight? Exclusive dessert. Xuan's face stiffened. Snow, this person is actually... Ning Zuelo chuckled. Brother Han, don't be embarrassed. I know all the good things you've done for me. Others also teased and joked, come on, don't be shy. Spoiling your wife is nothing to be ashamed of. Just now, we thought that persistent admirer was arranging this for Ning Shi. It was wishful thinking, does he have that kind of luck? It's hilarious, how could he compare to our Snow, the beauty? Yeah. But Suhan's surprise was really huge. It startled all of us. Indeed, look at how excited those food journalists were. And it caused us to misunderstand on a grand scale. Suhan had intended to explain, but everyone kept praising, and Ning Zuelo had a look of admiration. He never got a chance to reveal the truth. This person wasn't actually invited by him. So, who could it be? Was it the hotel owner who invited him as a favor? That was a possibility. After thinking about it, he felt reassured. With a modest expression, he stopped refuting the compliments from everyone. In the corner, Xiaodao's face was full of resentment. So what if you're rich? It's infuriating. He even directly invited the mentor. Even if it's delicious, I don't want to eat it. Ningxi sighed lightly, patting Xiaodao's back to comfort her. At the same time, a trace of doubt flashed in her eyes. She had heard of the French food god Alain, but according to his rules, for an event of this scale, it would require advance booking, rushing his schedule, and paying a considerable fee. He shouldn't lower his standards to attend such an event. How did Suhan manage to invite him? Now that the mentor was personally involved, William naturally gave up the main position, taking a back seat and standing in the position of the sous chef. There was an open cooking station in the banquet hall, indicating that they were preparing to cook on the spot. This was truly a double feast for the eyes and taste buds. In the banquet hall, everyone eagerly stared at Alain, their mouths involuntarily watering, anticipating an unparalleled feast. However, for some reason, Alain didn't follow their expectations. Instead of going to the head chef's position that William had vacated, he walked to the position where William, the sous chef, was standing. Master, what is this? William looked puzzled. Alain, with a solemn expression, looked at his disciple. You can leave this banquet now. I will take over as the sous chef. What? William was shocked. You're going to be the sous chef? Aren't you the head chef tonight? No, I'm not, Alain denied. Then who is the head chef tonight? William was completely dumbfounded. With an expression of respect, Alain answered, wait for him to arrive, you'll know. After a pause, he looked at his disciple and said, consider this a rare learning opportunity. Watch carefully later. Upon hearing this, William's face didn't look too good. Who was this person that he didn't even have the qualifications to be the sous chef? He could only watch dumbfoundedly from the sidelines? Being young and famous, proud and arrogant, how could he endure such humiliation? But he didn't dare to disobey his mentor's orders and could only reluctantly retreat to the corner. Yes, I understand. Guests first saw William move to the sous chef position, then Alain followed suit, and finally, William didn't even have a position, being pushed into the corner. Everyone was dumbfounded. What's going on? I don't know. It seems like someone else is coming. It seems like they said Alain is just the sous chef, and the real head chef hasn't arrived yet. A certain food journalist had a mad expression. My God. I think I'm going crazy. Even someone of Alain's caliber can only be the sous chef? Who the hell is the head chef? Another food blogger made a praying gesture. Bless the emperor. If I can see this god, I'll be satisfied in this life. Could it be that today we'll have the chance to see the legendary one? Who exactly? Someone asked in confusion. The one who can make Alain just the sous chef, who else could it be? The food blogger showed a mysterious expression. Other food journalists and knowledgeable food enthusiasts simultaneously thought of that person. They all wore expressions of disbelief. This can't be possible. I also think it's impossible. Absolutely impossible to invite that person. Otherwise, I'll swallow this wine glass. Then I'll swallow a spoon. Time passed by, about 5 minutes later. In the anxious eyes of all the guests, the doors of the banquet hall finally opened again. Leading the way was a foreign elderly man dressed neatly in chef's attire. Behind him was a well-trained team. The old man, with a steady pace, walked calmly into the hall. The hotel owner, who was not far away, saw the newcomer and hurriedly approached, extending his hand with excitement. Mr. Daniel, you're finally here. Everything on our side is ready. We've been waiting for you. The old man nodded slightly, politely shook hands with the owner, then walked straight towards the head chef's direction. Alan, who was in the sous chef position, bent down and respectfully bowed 90 degrees to the old man. Then he went forward to help him tie an apron and prepared lemon water for him to clean his hands. Meanwhile, William, who had been in the corner playing soy sauce, was shocked when he saw the old man. His eyes were about to pop out, and he couldn't close his mouth for a long time. Mr. Daniel? How is this possible? Am I dreaming? After saying that, he exaggeratedly pinched himself and made a grimacing expression. Daniel, the master, had been his idol since he entered the industry, the scripture of his heart. Seeing him up close was already satisfying, not to mention being able to watch from afar. Even if he could only get a glimpse, he would have no regrets in this life. His previous unwillingness and reluctance had now turned into a stroke of luck. In the banquet hall, those who had claimed they would swallow cups and spoons were now all wearing dumbfounded expressions. Damn, who's going to pinch me? Pinch hard. I'm definitely dreamin'. You better pinch yourself. I just pinched myself several times, and my thighs are turning purple. It's not a dream. Who is this old man? Fangya asked with curiosity. Other members of the crew who weren't familiar with the situation also gathered around. Yeah, who is this person? Is he as formidable as William's mentor? A senior food journalist, while keeping a close eye on every move of the old man, explained with respectful tone, if William is a standout among the young generation in the food industry, then his mentor Alan Passa is the cornerstone of the culinary world, representing the highest standards of the current culinary world. What about Danielle? Someone immediately asked. Danielle Joseph. Another food blogger sighed. He is like a textbook for every food professional, a culinary bible in the hearts of food enthusiasts, an eternal classic, a treasure-level master in France. The food journalist sighed, almost tearful with excitement. Let's cherish this moment. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Fangya blinked. So, he's really impressive, huh? Others also sighed in admiration, mysterious but impressive. Anyway, I'm going to eat a lot tonight. Fortunately, I haven't eaten all day, deliberately saving my stomach. Fangya playfully approached Ning Shuelua and teased, Shuelua, your fiancé, Suyen, really went all out for the proposal. Look at you, offering yourself isn't enough. You should get married soon and give him a child. Ha ha ha. That makes sense. And you should have several more. Ning Shuelua blushed and stomped her foot. Hey, you guys, don't talk nonsense. Alright, stop teasing her. Suyen looked at the little woman beside him with admiration. At this point, he was completely convinced that the two masters were invited by the hotel to please the Su family. He felt justified in the flattery from everyone. Oh, this hurts, someone joked. Too heart-wrenching. It's unbearable to watch. Fangya tapped the plate and looked at Ningxi with a smirk. Some people are pretending to be calm. She must be insanely jealous right now. Isn't she always hanging out with Shuelua? Let her continue. Haha, there's no way. Suyen really went all out this time, inviting the 3 generations of food gods. He invited all of them at once. Indeed, it's the Su family. Their background is so profound. Ningxi is good at pretending. Her little assistant is so naive. Didn't you see she was almost crying just now? Listening to those people discussing her, Xiaodao, trying to hold back her tears, didn't want to embarrass herself further. Miss Shi, I'm sorry. Ningxi hugged her. Okay, you've apologized many times. Besides, if anyone should apologize, it should be me. I've implicated you. I'm not strong enough yet to prevent you from being wronged. Xiaodao pouted, holding back her tears. She didn't want to be more embarrassed. Miss Shi, I'm sorry. Ningxi sighed. Alright, you've apologized so many times. Besides, if anyone should apologize, it should be me. I've implicated you. I'm not strong enough yet to prevent you from being wronged. Xiaodao pursed her lips. She couldn't hold back her tears and cried in Ningxi's arms. Although the sudden change from being transferred from Ling Manyun to Ningxi made her feel unsatisfied, she actually liked Ningxi a lot. Ling Manyun, despite being a big name, was not easy to get along with. She was too lofty and not easy to deal with. She was nothing like Ningxi, who was easygoing and knew how to make people happy. Although this was the time when she should be comforting her, it was Ningxi who had been consoling her all along. Fortunately, at this moment, Mr. Daniel was about to start cooking, and everyone's attention was on him. No one noticed Ningxi and her little group in the corner. In fact, the current situation tonight was the best for Ningxi. Although she might receive some disdainful glances, At least there were no irreversible problems. However, she still felt a bit uneasy. Considering that guy's nasty sense of humor, since he mentioned a surprise in the letter, he wouldn't do nothing. Tonight might not be as smooth as it seemed. Ah, may the Oscars bless them. Don't let anything go wrong. Otherwise, if that bastard really dares to ruin her career, she won't let him off easily. At this moment, on the main stage, Ning Xuelua, who was feeling quite accomplished, glanced around, her eyes flickering with some unknown thoughts. She smiled slightly and then looked towards Ning Shi, who was in the corner, saying in a gentle voice, "Ning Shi, can you come over for a moment?" Hearing Ning Xuelua calling Ning Shi over, Fangya and the others were a bit puzzled. Why would she suddenly call that woman over? However, since it was Xuelua's request, they naturally wouldn't object. Xiaodao, glancing at Ning Xuelua on the main stage, couldn't hold back her anger. "Miss Shi, just go. Otherwise, others might think we're afraid of her. In front of everyone, what can she do?" In this situation, directly refusing was indeed not a good idea. Moreover, there were people live streaming in the hotel. Without hesitation, Ning Shi stood up gracefully and walked towards the main stage, standing in front of Ning Xuelua. Watching the two of them standing side by side, some actors from the crew were secretly sneering. This scene was indeed interesting. If Ning Shi's admirer sent the so-called surprise later, it would be even more perfect. Ning Xuelua warmly invited Ning Shi to sit beside her, then spoke, "Ning Shi, I heard that you're very interested in these top masters in the culinary world. The position just now wasn't ideal. From here, you can see more clearly. Those masters are usually not visible, you know." After saying this, Ning Xuelua naturally hooked Su Yan's arm and leaned against him, looking extremely intimate. Ning Shi politely smiled and didn't say much. She understood clearly that letting her take the stage wasn't some high-end plot, it was just to disgust her. Humph, who knows what it feels like, but she's acting so calm. She's really a good actress. Fangya sarcastically remarked, and the other crew members were whispering and occasionally glancing at Ning Shi with amused eyes. What do you think Ning Shi's admirer will bring as a surprise later? If he doesn't come soon, this banquet might end. Who knows? You can't guess the thoughts of that guy. Ha ha ha, let's taste the feast first. Otherwise, if our appetite is ruined later, it'll be a big loss. Next, under the devout gaze of all the guests, before starting the cooking for the dinner, Mr. Daniel paused for a moment. Suddenly, he looked towards the guests and then spoke fluently. "Tonight, I am very honored to be invited to take charge of the beautiful and distinguished Miss Ning's banquet. I will cook a delicious dinner for you, your friends, and your esteemed guests." As he finished speaking, the old gentleman turned towards Ning Shi and Ning Xuelua, gave a gentlemanly bow, and said, "Beautiful and distinguished Miss Ning, may you have a wonderful evening." Ning Xuelua smiled happily and nodded in response. Seeing this, the old gentleman frowned slightly, a bit confused. The words were clearly spoken to Miss Ning Shi, but the woman next to her had been nodding at him all along. However, the old gentleman didn't pay much attention to it. His task was to prepare the dinner, and anything else was irrelevant to him. Soon, the first dessert, prepared by Alan as the sous chef and Danielle as the head chef, was ready. Beautiful and distinguished Miss Ning, this dessert is called Advanced Frozen Chocolate Ice Cream Sundae. Although the name is a bit complicated, you can taste it first. As Danielle finished speaking, he personally carried the dessert towards the main stage. The food journalists were ecstatic. Not only was it made by Danielle himself, but he was also personally delivering it. This honor was beyond words. I didn't expect it to be this kind of dessert. Is this going to be extraordinary? The sundae contains almost 30 kinds of cocoa. 14 of them are the most expensive and delicious cocoa in the world, and the sundae also has edible gold on top. This isn't just a dessert, it's pure luxury. Some food journalists had only heard of it before, and tonight was the first time they had seen it with their own eyes, and it was made by Danielle. The excitement was beyond imagination. Most girls like these exquisite foods, and Ning Xuelua was naturally attracted by the dessert made by Danielle. Seeing Danielle elegantly approaching, her heart raced, and she occasionally glanced at Ning Shi with a meaningful smile. "Thank you." Su Yan was courteous, reaching out to take the dessert from Danielle's hands. However, Danielle was not buying it. With a serious expression, he said, "Sir, I'm sorry, but this dessert is exclusive and not for you." Seeing Su Yan's embarrassment, Ning Xuelua lightly laughed and pulled Su Yan's arm. "Brother Yan, it's all right. Let Mr. Daniel personally give it to me. Brother Yan, don't join in the fun." Suyen smiled helplessly, then stepped back, thinking that these top chefs were a bit quirky, but he let them be. When Danielle approached Ning Shuelua, she immediately put on a sweet smile. Mr. Danielle, thank you. After saying that, Ning Shuelua reached out to take the seemingly unattractive ice cream. However, the next moment, Danielle's actions surprised everyone present. Danielle, with a face full of confusion, stared at Ning Shuelua discontentedly. Miss, the dessert in my hand is not prepared for you. Not for me? Ning Shuelua looked surprised. Then who is it for? Didn't you just say, Miss Ning? Sorry, the Miss Ning I mentioned is Ning Shi, not you, Miss. Danielle's tone was firm. Without even looking at Ning Shuelua, he bypassed her, walked straight to Ning Shi in the midst of countless astonished gazes, and said, Beautiful and distinguished Miss Ning, please enjoy. The old gentleman probably didn't do it intentionally, but the words beautiful and distinguished at this moment sounded deliberately emphasized, as if implying that only Ning Shi deserved these two descriptions. At this moment, not only Ning Shuelua but also Suyen and Fangya were completely stunned. After the old gentleman finished speaking, there was dead silence in the venue. After a long time, sporadic voices were heard from the crowd. Is this a joke? Miss Ning is not Ning Shuelua but Ning Shi? No way. How could such a thing happen? Is it a prank, deliberately trying to embarrass Ning Shi by letting her enjoy the surprise first? What a joke. Would someone of this level make such a prank? It's really Ning Shi. Is this some kind of mistake? Alan and Danielle, the two gods, are all here for Ning Shi?